Hi, I'm gonna be reviewing the video called Carnivore versus Vegan Simplified by The Healthy Life.
Okay, it's time to set the record straight once and for all with this carnivore versus plant-based thing. Both sides think they're right and the other side is wrong. Meat eaters will say we are designed to eat meat, and the plant eaters say we're designed to eat plants.
Plane eaters. Nice. The brain is working properly.
Let's keep morality, ethics, environmental impact, and sentimental emotions out of it for a minute and just look at it from a strictly biological point of view. Let me answer the most common question right away. Why do so many people get better when they go carnivore? They get better because they stop eating pizza, bagels, pancakes, cereal, bread, pasta, cookies, cakes, sugar, soft drinks, ice cream, and waffles. Replace modern processed food with...
There is some truth to that. Of course, it's not the main reason. That's also why a lot of vegans at the beginning feel better, of course, because this is poisonous, what he's showing here, for the most part.
anything found in nature, and you get similar results. You get the same results and you heal just about anything if you eat just fruits and vegetables and greens and nuts.
Right, but there are some fruits which are edible in nature. Yeah, of course, most have been cultivated today, but there aren't really any vegetables that you can eat in nature. You can eat some of them. You may not die, but you won't feel good.
And seeds, as long as it's found in nature.
Yeah, also nuts and seeds cultivated. Eat a real almond. It's so full of cyanide, it's so bitter. Eat a few of them, you can die.
Nature. Pasta, ice cream, bagels, and beer are not found in nature. One of the most important things to realize here is what most people call vegan.
Yeah, it's just that the overall problem is that what vegans eat today is not found in nature. Yeah, your point is right, but it doesn't seem like you get it. What you find in nature, as far as what's edible is animals. That's what you find. Eggs, which are also from animals. Not even dairy products. He's right about that. He said ice cream. Yeah, it isn't found in nature, of course. You could theoretically get milk from animals, but this happened when people started farming animals. Naturally, it's probably never going to happen.
Not healthy. Some of the unhealthiest people in the world are vegan because all they eat is dead, highly processed junk. Bread, pizza, pasta.
Well, they eat the junk like everybody else, except that they become malnourished because plants don't have over 15 micronutrients. So it's just a lot worse.
Fake cheese, fake meat, fried food, cooked to death food, wheat, sugar.
Yeah, and they eat the fake meat and the fake cheese because they crave meat. Really, you just debunked your whole video already. Why else would they do that?
Sugar, preservatives, processed oils, cereal, jam, syrup, and all that. Just keep going. None of it is natural, and none of it is healthy. They eat junk food. They're junk food vegans. They have health issues. Very few vegans are raw vegan, but raw vegans aren't off the hook either. Most of them are basically fruitarians because fruit is sweet.
I love this photo. I don't know if it's real or not, but yeah, it's a good portrayal.
And it tastes good, and all they eat and drink is sweet stuff. Mangoes and bananas and watermelon and grapes and sweet, fruity smoothies and tons of orange juice. Sugar, 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 sugar. This is also not natural. If you were plopped in nature and you were forced to survive, you would not find a lot of sweet stuff. Most of what you'd find out there would be bland or even bitter, and bitter is actually good for you.
Oh my god, man. How is bitter good for you? This is biology 101, biochemistry, come on. Bitter means toxic, always. Bitter always means poisonous. You can't even go against your body more than this because bitter right away means poisonous, spit it out, don't eat it. You taste it with your tongue, bitter, you throw it away. It's absolutely common sense. Nothing can be more common sense than that because bitter means dangerous. If you're pregnant, you have a miscarriage if you eat something bitter.
It stimulates digestion, and it helps clean the liver.
Stimulates. Because you eat something toxic? What do you mean? Stimulates? Because your body is more alert? Trying to deal with the toxins?
Sweet stuff feeds bacteria, fungus, yeast, mold, and parasites, and fruit is half glucose, half fructose. Those are sugars. The body cannot use fructose, so the liver has to work overtime to convert it to glucose so the body can use it. Do not misquote me here. I am not saying to not eat fruit. There's nothing wrong with eating fruit, but you can't live your whole life eating nothing but sweet fruit. Even
Well, we saw that with the mango what's-a guy. We've seen that with many people.
monkeys know to eat half green and half fruit, plus occasionally some bugs and some other.
Right, but humans don't eat green leaves. So what's your point?
Unmentionable gross stuff. If you're mainly fruitarian and your hair is thinning and your teeth are starting to rot, you might want to read my book, Heal Yourself 101, which describes the biggest mistakes that raw vegans make and how to do it right. Okay, number 2, the paleo argument. People think paleo means cavemen with spears hunting woolly mammoths, right? And they were healthy and had long lives and we should eat like them too.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Well, scientific studies analyzing paleo poop found most of what they actually ate was...
You cannot analyze paleo poop. There cannot be a general answer to it. The very best that you could do, which is probably the case here, I'm not going to read it all now, but I think that I know what he's referring to, is look at the poop of one specific human. And even then, of course, it's not the actual poop, obviously, if it's from ages ago. And then you can create a hypothesis, but you cannot actually know what he ate. You can only assume and come to the most logical conclusion, if even that really. And that's all that this is. It's not as if we know what they ate.
Plants and roots. They scavenged whatever they could.
Yeah, and if they were starving, let's say that there was a way to prove this, yeah? Let's just give it the benefit of the doubt. Even if, then you would be looking at one human who possibly was starving and ate it. What does that prove? That doesn't mean that all humans ate it. And why do we need to go back that long? Why can we simply not look at what humans already eat in nature now? What about the people in Siberia, the people who don't really have any contact to modern societies in Africa? Why do they eat raw meat? Why do they just hunt animals? None of them go around collecting leaves and root vegetables. Yeah, maybe some here and there, yeah. Ajnas said that he met some people and they squeezed juice out of the root vegetables for hydration. Yeah, that's all fine. But it's not as if that's what they actually eat. It's nothing. It's just some water with minerals.
It's a lot easier to sneak up on a berry bush or some roots than an animal. And yes, they...
Yeah, it's easier, but people still always hunted.
Did eat some animal foods, which they did when they could. But you always hear meat eaters say, our ancestors ate this way. No, they didn't. When they ate whatever they could. They were omnivores. They ate a little bit of everything.
Yeah, but if they could eat animals, then that's what they would eat. They would drink the blood and eat the organs in the first place, raw, not cooked. And then, if they don't have enough food, they would eat the muscle meat also. If they would have a lot of food, they would give it to the dogs or whatever, just the lowest ranks. And then if they didn't have any animals at all, then they would eat anything they can find. Yeah, but why would you eat what we would eat in the worst case scenario when there's famine, basically? That's what he's saying. Like a vegan diet is a famine diet.
The average lifespan of a paleo caveman
was over 150, tons of proof.
Was around 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. They just lived, la da 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 da. Oh, I'm 30. Well, I'll just die now for no reason.
That doesn't sound like the fountain.
That kind of sounds like a delusion that a vegan would say.
The youth to me.
Oh, so sad. That doesn't sound like youth to me. Better live like the vegans die from heart attacks at the age of 40, or just quit after 1 year because you can't take it.
Okay, the human body can survive in just about anything. It's one of the most amazing machines ever created. Not many creatures on this world can adapt as much as we can in order to...
That may be true. Maybe the only true thing he said. We are more adaptable, yeah.
Survive. Now notice I said the word survive, not thrive. There was a guy who ground up...
Yeah, exactly. We can only thrive on our natural food, of course. But we can somewhat adapt and somewhat try to survive. People survive on crazy diets for a pretty long time. A cow that's designed to eat grass couldn't really do that for that long. As far as I know. Who knows?
His car into a powder, and then he ate it. He ran it through his body, and he survived. Then he says, oh, this is great. Then he did the same thing with a small airplane. Now, does that mean we're supposed to eat cars and airplanes? The body is very forgiving. It's...
Yeah, but that's not the only thing he ate.
Very forgiving. It is designed to tolerate a heck of a lot. Okay, so why is it so easy for carnivores to get big muscles so easily? Well, most of them eat beef, right? And dairy, which contain hormones that makes a cow grow to be 2,000 pounds.
In the muscles themselves, you're not going to find very much. Just trace amounts leftovers. Or what is he talking about? What's naturally inside of them or artificially? I thought artificially.
Pounds. So yes, if you eat it, it makes you grow too. The term beefeater, that alcohol, comes from the Queen's Guards in Old England. They were fed beef so they could be bigger and stronger than the average person, hence the term beefeater. But those same amino acids, glutamine, arginine, choline, and hormones like IGF-1 that makes you grow also makes anything else grow inside you, also like your prostate or cancer. But you're under 50 and you don't care, right? Because you lost your fat, you have energy, you don't get sick anymore, and you feel on top of the world. You feel great. Okay, fine. On the other hand, there are also lots of vegan bodybuilders out there.
Yeah, okay. And he's not on steroids or what?
And of course, the first thing everybody says is vegans can't look like that without steroids.
Well, it doesn't matter if he's vegan or not. He's obviously on steroids. That's the only thing that matters.
It's the most predictable brainwash cliche out there. What those commenters fail to comprehend is that those muscles are still made of protein. If all they're eating is plants, then obviously they're still getting their protein.
Who says that they don't? Yeah, they get some, and if they use their protein powders and whatever full of microplastics, it doesn't matter because they are full of drugs, and these drugs help them. It helps them with muscle protein synthesis.
From plants. Steroids do not make muscle. Those are messengers, just like hormones. They tell the body.
Yeah, it's just that vegans cannot produce a lot of testosterone because they are malnourished. They cannot produce these hormones. Women also struggle with their hormones. That's the whole point. That's why you cannot look like this naturally as a vegan.
To work harder and faster, like adding more construction workers so the house can be built faster.
That's the whole reason why Brian Johnson takes testosterone. I think he gets it injected, whatever the case, or those patches, whatever. He doesn't have testosterone himself because he cannot produce it because of his diet. There was actually even some paper released about it. Let me see if I have it. Oh yeah, there it is. Test subjects who took Brian Johnson's longevity stack reportedly suffered dropping testosterone, developed pre-diabetes. Yeah, of course, because it's basically a vegan diet that he promotes. That's all that you should expect.
Faster, but the house is still made of bricks and concrete and wood like any other house. Muscle.
Yeah, the testosterone helps them to create the muscles. Yeah. But you don't have testosterone, very little, when you're vegan. That's the whole point.
Protein is like bricks needed to build the house. And using more construction workers is not necessary unless you want to build the house faster. Okay.
So what's your point? Everybody knows that you can build muscle, as in adapt your body to the stress, if you take steroids and you're on a vegan diet. That the big guy who called himself the strongest guy on the earth, he isn't, but that's what he said. Patrick Bobian, or whatever his name was, the German guy. Yeah, he was also supposedly vegan, but on tons of drugs, and that's why it worked. Yeah, and nobody really is questioning this. The point is that if you're not on drugs, you cannot do it as a vegan.
What about fat loss? Carnivores lose fat, right? They look great and they have lots of energy and they don't get sick anymore. So, well, so do people on a true whole food plant-based diet who don't eat bread and pasta.
That's true. You lose a lot of weight because you're malnourished. Yeah, it's a different kind of weight loss. You also lose the muscle.
But then there's those deficiencies that everyone brings up on both diets. Modern grocery store produce has very little B12, and meat has very little vitamin C, and it has zero fiber.
Plants don't have over 15 micronutrients, not only B12. Meat doesn't have fiber because fiber is the indigestible part of a plant. Seeing as meat is not a plant, an animal is not a plant, it cannot have fiber, it's not supposed to have it. And it does have vitamin C, yeah, but in low amounts. But that's because the main purpose of vitamin C is to help with you metabolizing sugar. So why would you need a vitamin C? Plus, it's not even the real vitamin C that you will find in plants. It's not DHAA, so you would need to convert it to the animal version, which is the one that you find in animals. Spleen, liver. Yeah, you can find vitamin C, the real one, in organs, and you get enough of it.
Cherry pick whatever you want about either diet, but let's not lose sight of the big picture.
Yeah, but you're saying that there's not a lot of vitamin C in meat. There's enough, as much as you need. But whatever, let's just say that that was true, yeah? You're just saying that there's not enough, but plants don't have 15 micronutrients, over 15 at all. It's not as if it's found in low amounts. It's not found in the plants at all. Do you see the difference? The best argument that you can give is that meat doesn't have this one vitamin in very large amounts, but it's still in there. Whereas plants don't even have them. You see why this is stupid?
If you stop eating modern processed food like pasta, pizza, cookies, ice cream, and beer and only eat things found in nature, you will probably heal most of your problems. So in a sense, both sides...
So what do you eat in nature? Go to a forest, eat your leaves and wood and sticks like a goat. Rocks, salt, crystallized rocks. Yeah, maybe you will start licking that. If you would even find it, you can't even find it in nature because you're so deficient.
...are right for short-term results. Do you know what B12 even is? It's bacteria poop. If you were to go in nature and you pulled a carrot...
Yeah, the same old lie. It's not bacteria poop. There was B12 found in the ground because of the poop, because the animals pooped it out. It's in the poop. It's not as if... It's so stupid, man. This is so old. Everybody knows this.
...out of the ground and you ate it, there would be bacteria and bacteria poop, aka B12.
Well, no. Only if an animal laid the poop there. Otherwise, no, not as such in the earth. There's no B12 as such in the earth.
On it. You don't need to take creatine or carnitine.
And what is he saying? That animals poop around everywhere and there's just perfect amounts of B12? Where's the measurements? Where's the proof of any of this? Completely religious belief, thinking there's magical B12 poop on every carrot. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Did you know the body makes its own? Yup. The kidneys, liver, and pancreas create about 1 to 2 grams of creatine per day. It's made from arginine, glycine, and methionine. Those are...
Yeah, if you're healthy and if you're not dealing with other problems, and is that even enough? You get a lot more from meat, meaning that you would need more. Oh, it depends, I guess, on how big you are, how much meat you eat.
Amino acids, and amino acids are what make protein. Okay, so let's talk protein. The body makes protein from amino acids, which are found in both plants and animals. It starts as a plant, then plant-eating animals eat the plants and turn it into protein, which turns into muscle. Almost all beef, chicken, and pork is animal muscle, which is made of protein, aka amino acids. But if we eat it, it does not immediately turn into muscle in us. The body breaks it back down into amino acids and then reassembles them back into whatever the body needs most.
Yes, that's true, but the biological value of plants is low. That's the problem, as in you cannot get that many of the amino acids out of the plants because they are in the fiber, they have the anti-nutrients.
Just because we want it to be making muscles doesn't mean that's what it will be used for. The body decides what the top priority is. So if we don't use our muscles, like we just sit around all day, and we don't do resistance exercises or lift weights, then that protein gets used for something else. It can even get turned into fat if the person is totally sedentary. Animal meat is easy to turn into protein for humans because the work of the assembling the proper ratios of amino acids has already been done. Plants can also give us the amino acids we need, but sometimes the ratios are different, so several different...
So far in this whole video, you haven't actually given one good reason as to why you should eat the plants, which don't have these nutrients and which are harder to digest, and in this case, you cannot assimilate the protein as easily. You cannot digest the plant foods. Why would we not eat the meat, right? It's as if this whole video is a meat advertisement, because really he's just saying meat is better.
Plant foods need to be eaten to get the proper amino acid profile levels, but even though eating animals is an easier way to get the proper protein ratios, there are issues, like animal products have zero fiber, which our body needs, because fiber is the main food source of our much-needed gut probiotics. And then there's the issue of hormones.
Proof, evidence, religious belief.
Cow products especially have hormones that make them grow to be 2,000-pound animals. Doesn't matter if it's grass-fed or not. These hormones, if taken for an extended period of time, may again fuel cancer to grow.
Is he saying artificial hormones or what? You have the same hormones in your body as a cow. Are hormones bad for you? What is he saying exactly? I agree that the artificial ones are bad.
Like prostate in men. Dairy is especially estrogenic because it's full of IGF-1, which fuels female cancers like breast, ovarian, and uterine, and prostate also in men.
But again, the same as you can find in your own body? I'm not promoting dairy, by the way. It does help women to have a bigger chest. I just know a lot of women who did it. Raw milk, yeah, not pasteurized. And their chests grew a lot. There's better ways also if you eat ovaries and whatnot. So these hormones do help a lot, especially if you struggle to produce them yourself for whatever reason.
Humans can survive on just about anything for a while, but the long-term effects are what we should be concerned with.
Well, I agree with him that we shouldn't consume dairy in general after a certain age for sure. Because you don't want to grow anymore, because growing means aging. That's what it is. That's what growth hormones do. They just age you. So during puberty, you will be producing a lot of growth hormones yourself anyway. And if you want to grow properly, even taller, you can consume the raw milk. Really, it's not going to do that much. You're going to be growing and aging anyway. The whole thing about puberty, why you look older, why your voice gets deeper and everything, it's all hormones, it's all aging.
As for those who say that meat is what we are supposed to eat, okay, let's look at the carnivore animals out there. They don't chew their food very much. They just rip at their prey and gulp down huge...
It depends. Dogs, wolves, they chew if the meat is tough, which it usually isn't. It just depends. They have a way bigger jaw and head, if you talk about lions, for example, and they don't even need to chew. It just depends what animal you're talking about.
Huge chunks, sometimes even swallowing the animal whole. Feathers, fur, bones, and everything.
Yeah, because they don't have hands. It's what they are naturally designed to do.
Their stomach acid is so strong, it can break
Same as ours. Ours has even been measured to be stronger.
all that down and dissolve the animal they ate. Try swallowing feathers, fur, and bones sometime and see what happens. No.
Today, a human being probably couldn't digest it well because, obviously, because of our diets, the stomach acid, the pH changes, obviously, because it adapts to whatever you're eating. Especially if you're a vegan, you will later have trouble digesting meat. Not that you can't do it, but it will be simply troublesome.
Don't. Okay, you'll end up in the emergency room.
Humans don't even naturally do that anyway. We have a way thinner... our whole biology is simply different. Again, if you compare it to a big animal such as a lion. So what is really your point exactly? We on purpose eat the organs, the blood, and the muscle meat also.
Again, we are designed to be able to survive on just about anything if we have to. Plants, animals, anything. Nowadays, we don't have to kill animals, and heck, we don't even have to grow our own food anymore. We have this thing called grocery stores right now, so it doesn't look like much of a survival situation to me. Anyway, so what are the longest living people in the world? What do they eat? It's kind of the exact opposite of a carnivore diet.
I think that he thinks that he's funnier than he is.
Okinawans, Seventh-day Adventists, they eat less than 5% animal products.
In the study about the Seventh-day Adventists, the meat eaters were the healthiest. They lived the longest lives.
Most of it's fish or seafood, and the rest is 95% is plant-based. But
well, no. The ones who lived the longest mostly ate meat.
Remember, though, humans cannot produce their own vitamin C, one of the most important vitamins.
He says carnivore animals can produce vitamin C. That's a lie. Actually, they can only produce ascorbic acid, which is the outer layer of vitamin C. Vitamin C has around 8 compounds. That's just one of them. So it's a lie, but it's a common misconception. I get it. Most people don't understand this.
For life and health, or vitamin D, which is another critical vitamin barely found in meat, and it has 0.
What? Oh my god. Oh my god. How can you lie? Vitamin D is only found in animal foods. Only. It's not found in plants at all. Where do you get vitamin D? You produce it yourself by being in the sun, or you eat it from animals. What is he talking about? The highest source of vitamin D is from animal brain. If you want a lot of vitamin D, omega-3s, eat the brain. If you want to feel really good, if it's winter, if there's not a lot of sunlight, how can you say that there's not a lot of vitamin D when there's tons? And otherwise, eat animal fat, the eggs, and you get your vitamin D. Is he lying? Is he ignorant?
Fiber. Ever wonder why carnivore people get colon?
What the fuck is with your fiber? Wait, what gets what, colon? What?
Cancer?
What? What are you talking about?
Eating only meat results in a gut full of meat-eating bacteria, and meat-eating bacteria cannot...
Can what? Are they gonna eat you?
do the things that fiber-eating...
Cannot do the things. What the fuck are you talking about? Say something. Show some evidence.
Bacteria does. Fiber plays a key role in binding and removing toxins, heavy metals, and other waste products from the body. Maybe you've heard of the gut-brain connection and how probiotics affect our mind, our memory, our mood, and our hormones. Gut.
So it's not white blood cells, glutathione. No, it's fiber, the indigestible part of a plant. It goes through your body and cleans you.
Bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, such as butyrate, which help reduce inflammation. It regulates immune function.
Yeah, or you could just eat animals and get it directly instead of producing these small amounts. How can you contradict yourself so much in a video?
Raise the animal yourself. Get to know it. Get it to know its personality because it has feelings too. Let it enjoy the company of a mate. Let it experience love and companionship and even allow it to raise an offspring. Then when you feel the need for eat animal flesh for protein, kill it.
What do you mean for protein? Meat has every nutrient.
Watch the look in its eyes as life ebbs away from its body.
Yeah, I've done that. It's the best feeling on earth. Really, there is nothing better than that. I really recommend people to hunt especially, but whatever you can do. I've also heard this from other people. There's nothing better really in life. It's one of the most fulfilling things you can do.
Have a really good look at its last expression and how it looks at you while it's dying. Then cut it open, pull out its intestines and its heart, which were working fine just a moment ago.
Yeah, it just all boils down to vegan feelings.
Animals are my friends. We should not kill them. I saw this cartoon as a baby and it said, animal my friend, not kill. Eat carrot and broccoli.
And think of what you did. Would you eat your dog
Think of what you did. Feel guilty.
or cat? Why not?
Why not? Well, people do in different countries. And in Kazakhstan, for example, when there was famine during World War II, people ate the dogs because there was no other meat. You would also. Everybody would. It's just that, just like with any animal, we can connect to them somewhat, not the same as to humans. And then we see them as our friends or companions. That's why. It's not as if you're really against it. There's cases of people eating other people in really harsh survival situations when a plane crashed. People are capable of a lot of stuff.
Protein. They eat dogs and cats in other countries. Do you seriously think you need to kill animals to eat? I mean, do you seriously think you'll be lacking?
How else are you going to eat them? Alive? That's what some animals do, but they still die. So what do you mean?
Something by eating only plants? Why do you think some of the world's top athletes only eat plants?
There are none. What do you mean? The few that tried it quit again.
The only thing...
If it was good for you, then everybody would be doing a vegan diet. Why did over 90% of vegans quit already? You're not making any sense.
Most people lack is proper knowledge of biochemistry and body chemistry and biology. People simply believe what they are told or see on the internet, and they simply repeat what others have done forever. Sure, people have eaten meat as far back as we can remember. Does that mean it's healthy just because humans have done it for thousands of years? Humans also waged...
Yeah, it means that we always ate it. Like, what do you mean? That's exactly what it means, because it means that that's what we are naturally supposed to eat. If we always would have eaten lentils and broccoli, then that would prove that that's what we are supposed to eat. Why do you think veganism just came out in like 2010, basically? Why do you think we all of a sudden started eating that? Just before they roll out the insects, the Beyond Meat and the lab-grown meat.
Wars, they raped and killed and destroyed most of the planet for thousands of years. Does that mean it's right and we should keep doing it?
Yeah, red herring.
Do you want to keep acting like a barbarian? Okay, look, the choice...
What do you mean? Barbarians are great people. What's wrong with being a barbarian?
Is yours. But if you feel so strongly about eating meat, then take some responsibility and do it yourself, just once. If you want to eat an animal, kill it.
Yeah, you should. Really, you should do it.
Yourself and see what it's like. Just see what it's like. See how you feel afterwards. Search your soul. Does it really feel like the right...
This guy should do it. He has never done it, for sure. Otherwise, he would know. And he would go carnivore right away.
Thing. Is it really necessary? As with many things in life, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And no matter what diet you choose,
you should do whatever you want to do, whether you can or cannot.
Pick whatever one you want. It doesn't matter what diet you choose. The general rule is eat things you find in nature.
What an absolute joke of a video. He says that you should eat what you find in nature, yet what vegans eat today is not found in nature at all. The plants that they eat are cultivated. The broccoli is a flower. It's not found in nature at all. That's why you have never seen it in a forest. It literally didn't used to exist. And kale also, all of that from that stupid cabbage family. You're just eating flowers, which are poisonous. All the seeds, like I said before, almonds, all of them used to be bitter, inedible. Then they cultivated them and made them somewhat edible. Still not really that tasty. That's why they put sugar, honey, something over it for the slaves to eat it. Because otherwise, you look at it, you taste it, and it just doesn't taste like food. They roast them, just do anything. Peanut butter, almond butter to imitate animal fat. It's all fake. What do vegans eat that is found in nature today? Maybe some kind of herbs, which they eat in super small amounts because of how poisonous they are? That's the only thing that I can think of. The carrots are fake. There's nothing to do with wild carrots. They're super bitter and poisonous. Some fruits, maybe. They are also fake for the most part. Cultivated, full of sugar, hardly any minerals or vitamin C left. There's no other vitamins anyway, really. Just some plant versions of the B vitamins, you would have to convert them. That's a different story. My point is simply that the animal foods that we eat are found in nature. You could say that, of course, the animals were bred. They look different than they used to, but the huge difference between plants and animals is that the animals may have looked different. The cows, I've seen natural cows. Yes, you can see that they look different, but it was still the same flesh because they go through a natural breeding process, whereas the plant so-called breeding process is not natural. These plants are man-made, whereas the animals could have actually reproduced themselves. They could have created these other breeds themselves. It's possible. Of course, humans actually did that. They helped them, but it's a natural process. It's not as if it magically happens. Whereas with the plants, really humans experiment, and nowadays they even do it in laboratories. They create all of this fake stuff. That's the big difference. So the plants that vegans eat are not found in nature at all, with the exceptions of some herbs and some fruits, which they don't even eat for the most part. And for the most part, they eat the fake processed food anyway. As he said, he's right about that. But the meat is exactly the way it used to be. Yes, the animal may look different now, but it's still the same meat, the same organs, the same blood. Just because the animals were bred, it doesn't make the meat unnatural. You can at the very most argue that the animals look different now, but the insides are the same organs, same meat, and so on. So you're eating the same meat. Of course, if the animals were farmed, they were medicated and fed unnatural food, that's a different story. Yeah, then they are not as healthy. But the animal as such, whether it was bred or not, is irrelevant. So when you're eating meat, whatever meat it is, you're eating what you always naturally ate from whatever animal it comes. It can just be sometimes healthier or unhealthier depending on how the animals were farmed. Ideally, eat wild meat. But when you're eating plants, 95% of the time at least, you're eating completely fake food which doesn't exist in nature. So I would love for this guy to actually go out into nature and try to survive then, because as far as I could see, that was his main point. Eat what's found in nature. Come on then, make a video and film what you will eat as a vegan in nature. I would love to see it. I'm sure that lots of people would. Thanks for watching, guys.